and how to upload it to Tinkerine, and then how to slice it within Tinkerine, and then download the G code. I'm already in Onshape here, my fancy mug. What you're going to do is right-click on the part studio that has the part that you want, and you're going to click on Export. Going to choose STL file. You are going to change it to millimeters, and let's give it a file name, mug. Okay, so I've downloaded it. Now I'm going to go to Tinkerine, so Tinkerine Cloud, sign in, and then you can import it and mug. It is successfully uploaded. So it's right here, double click, and I have it open. So to move around like so, you right click and left click to rotate. So right click to move around, left to rotate your view. On the left-hand side, we have translate or moving the object. So I can move it left or right. I can rotate it. So for example, if I wanted to rotate it 90 degrees, I can rotate it 90 degrees. If I want to undo it, just Control Z. And then I have scaling here. It's going to automatically keep the ratio, which is almost always you're going to want to do. So in this case, I'm going to change it to be 1 centimeter. And it changed the scale. So I'm scrolling in using the scroll button on the mouse. And this button right here, make sure that it's on the platform. Once we have it on the platform, we could add other models if we wanted to. If I wanted to have more of the same, we can have undo, and to show you how to set up the settings for the slicing. So our printer is this one here, the Dito Pro 3D printer. I'm going to, normally it looks like this, sorry. You're going to click on medium, infill is sparse, click on custom. So the resolution, this is medium, so 0.2 millimeters per layer. The infill, you're actually going to change it to 10%. It's going to use less, a lot less plastic, and it'll still be plenty strong. The wall is the outside layers, so anything facing the outside world will be 2 layers thick. Okay. Sometimes you might need support. So you could have, so actually I'm going to change the scale back to 100. We can see a little bit more. So my other model that was there is still there. It's just been eaten by this one. So I can see it right there. Okay. So if I want to put a brim on, so brim just helps with the adhesion to the printing platform. So let's press slice and have a look what happens. Good. So right at the bottom here, you can see how there's a couple layers right here that are outside of the full mug, and that's the brim. So if I took the brim off and did the same thing, see, there's no layers in between right here. This outside layer right here is just to have it laid out so that you don't hit other models. Let's go edit again. So you're going to leave the speed at 70 millimeters a second. You're going to leave the temperature at 220 degrees Celsius. So this is the melting temperature for PLA plastic, the plastic that you guys are using in class. If it was ABS plastic, you'd have to change the settings. If it was a flexible plastic or filament, then you'd have to follow whatever instructions were with that filament. Now with support, we can have exterior support. And let me click slice. And it will automatically create some supports for us. Good. So exterior shows it right here. It's supporting this underside. Otherwise, if it tried to print in space, it would fail. But notice how within the handle, there is no supports. So there's a good chance that get lined up. This top part there would fail because there's no support and it would be trying to print in thin air. So in which case this print would fail. So I'm going to go to scroll back up, edit, and I'm going to click on full, slice it again. Good. So now this time we can see still the supports underneath, but also interior supports within the model to make sure the handle prints properly. Once I slice, I can see how much time it's going to take and how much filament it's going to use. So it's going to use just under 130 grams of filament, and it's going to take 11 hours to print. So all of them definitely take a long time to print. Obviously, the bigger it is, the more it's going to print. Now, when it said the infill and we set it to 10%, what does that look like? Well, we can step back at all the layers and we can see the infill right here. So we have the walls on the inside and the outside, and then the interior is infilled with honeycomb shapes, right? So as I go down, it goes all the way down. You can see it's also in the handle there. And I can step all the way down to the very first thing that the printer is going to print. So you can see the bottom layer is printing fully solid, and then by the third layer, it's starting that infill. Okay. So once I've sliced it, I'm happy with how it's going to look. I'm going to keep my eye out for anywhere I'm trying to print in thin air. So if I try and print in thin air, it will definitely fail. Go to download, and after you've sliced it and you download it, it's going to be a G code. So you're going to go to your downloads, go to your downloads, and you'll find your G code, and you can move that onto the SD card.